When the universe disappears, that is when you truly appear. The Buddha's teachings. Chapter 1. Two worlds, one life. Where does your experience really come from? Try stopping for a moment and notice. Is there always a kind of noise in your head? A stream of thoughts, worries, plans, memories constantly running? Does it feel like your mind is never truly quiet? What is this world of inner noise and busyness, and how does it affect your peace? Looking at this inner noise opens a very deep door within us. We live in two worlds, one outside, one inside. But we don't live in them equally. The outer world is everything you sense: people, sounds, heat, smells, moonlight. It seems solid, following physical laws, but it's never still. Nothing stays the same. We suffer when we try to hold on, when we resist its natural flow, but the world keeps moving, often painfully. This constant flux can bring a quiet ache to the heart. Then there is the inner world, a world nobody else sees. Your thoughts, emotions, memories, desires. The quiet voice inside that whispers fear, or the warmth when you feel loved. This inner world of feelings and stories is incredibly powerful, shaping everything you perceive and react to. Notice how two people in the same place have different experiences. We experience life not directly, but through the filter of our minds. If your mind is cloudy with worry, even a sunny day feels cold. If your heart is at peace, even a storm feels calm. This inner filter colors everything you perceive. So, which world shapes your reality more, outer or inner? In Buddhism, the path begins here, not controlling the outside, but gently turning inward with courage, to see clearly how we create our own suffering from the inside, and how we can finally find the way to stop it at the root. The outer world gives us situations, yes, but suffering comes from how we meet them, from within. From what we expect, what we fear, instead of simply accepting what is happening with presence. Buddhism teaches, life itself is not always suffering, but attachment is. And that deep attachment, that holding on, begins inside us. To understand yourself, to find lasting peace, you must look inside. Not to judge or fix immediately, just to see, to observe with gentle curiosity. This is the beginning of true, lasting healing. You are not just what happens to you. You are how you meet it, from the quiet space within. If this is true, if our experience is shaped more by our mind than by the world itself, then a hopeful, liberating question appears. What happens when the mind begins to soften, to calm, to let go of its usual habits of grasping and reacting? And that's where everything starts to change in the most profound, healing way. Chapter 2. When the mind lets go, the world grows quiet. When the noise fades, the world feels different. Not because it has changed, but because your mind is no longer running ahead of it. There's a kind of silence that's not just about sound. It's the silence that comes when your thoughts stop chasing everything. That's what we mean when we say, the universe disappears. Not that trees or people or traffic vanish, but your need to judge them, label them, hold on to them, that begins to fade. Imagine walking a street you know. Your mind isn't full. You just see the tree without needing to name it, own it. You simply experience it, fully, vividly, without effort. Your busy story about it has disappeared. There's a simple joy in this direct seeing, free from the usual mental chatter. It's a taste of pure presence. That's clarity, the simple absence of inner noise and resistance. The Buddha asked us to see clearly, and clarity comes when grasping stops. We usually reach for things in our mind. We want them to mean something, to last. This constant reaching, this mental tension, is grasping. But what happens when grasping slows? You look at a flower. Now, no need to hold on to the moment. You are fully inside it, not afraid it will pass. You can appreciate its beauty fully, knowing it will change, and find peace in that knowing. That is mindfulness in action. There's profound freedom here. The world moves, but you're not clinging with fear. No pressure to control. The mind lets go, and the world grows quiet, not smaller, but without your added noise. This allows you to hear the world's own quiet song. This isn't just Buddhist. Taoism. The Tao that can be named is not the eternal Tao. Words limit. Zen. The way is not in the sky. The way is in the heart. The path is how your heart meets this moment. Even physics touches this. The observer changes what is seen. Your mind shapes the reality you call real. These different paths all whisper the same truth. The deepest reality isn't found by grasping, but by seeing with an open heart. When beliefs soften, when you don't rush to name or judge, you see something different, more simple, infinitely more peaceful. Suffering doesn't vanish instantly, but you stop adding more suffering to the situation. The sadness may visit, but without grasping onto the story or fighting the feeling, it's lighter. You offer it a quiet seat next to you, acknowledging its presence without getting lost in its story. This simple act of acceptance is profoundly healing. Some ask, if I let go, won't I stop caring? The opposite happens. You care more gently, more genuinely, without holding fear. You are simply present with whatever is here. This presence doesn't need a reason. It's about seeing, fully, softly, not trapped by thoughts. Living the moment and letting it live, too. This frees up immense energy. But if letting go reveals a quieter, simpler world, what is left when I no longer try to control, compare, or explain everything? When I stop constantly looking for something to define me? Chapter 3. What remains when you stop looking for yourselves? Sometimes we spend our whole lives looking for something. We don't always know what to call it. Some say happiness. Some say freedom. Some just call it home. But whatever name we give it, it feels like we've been chasing it for a long time. We look for it in other people, in achievements, in beliefs, in the image we hold of who we are or who we hope to become. But no matter how hard we try, something always slips through the cracks. And after a while, the search itself becomes exhausting. Not because we're weak, but because deep down, we start to sense something strange. The more we chase, the farther it feels. The more we try to define who we are, the more lost we feel inside. Buddhism doesn't tell you to stop searching because it's bad. It gently asks, what happens if you stop? When you stop running after some idealized version of yourself, the perfect self you think you should be, what's still here? When the demanding voices saying you're not enough quiet down, what's left standing? It feels risky at first, like stepping off a familiar path. At first, it can feel empty, even scary. We've tied ourselves to so many external things and internal narratives: job, history, pain. Losing those stories feels like losing something essential. We lose the immense weight of trying so hard to be someone. But what remains is not nothingness. It's presence. An open space in the heart and mind. Not cold, just spacious, vast, and peaceful. Alive, but not crowded. Like a quiet room filled with gentle light. This space isn't empty in a sad way. It's full of potential, like a field waiting for the sun. Something soft, real, and undeniably you begins to show itself, untouched by the striving. This is suchness, the direct nature of your being, before we add labels, judgments, stories. It's the pure sound of a bell before you label it bell sound. What's left when the dust of our mental activity settles? Many fear losing identity. Buddhism doesn't say you have no self. It says the self you hold on to, labels, memories, isn't the whole picture. You are not gone. You are just not limited to the small box you believed you lived in. Think of the vast sky. Your limited self is just one small cloud passing through it. It's like seeing the space in a room, not just the furniture. The furniture, thoughts, feelings, is there, but you're not trapped by them. You see the spaciousness around them. That space allows you to breathe deeply, to simply be. This isn't escaping life. It's seeing it with more room, kindness, less self-imposed pressure. Imagine a child painting. They just paint, not trying to become someone, just being through it. That's the presence Buddhism points to. Deeply alive, free from clinging to identity. This brings profound freedom. No longer needing to be someone specific. You can simply be here, not proving, just experiencing life directly. The world doesn't disappear, but the heavy weight of carrying a solid me lightens. You can still speak, laugh, choose from inner openness, not fear or habit. Don't push away the self. Just stop holding it so tightly. Like a bird on your open hand, soft, precious, free to fly. In this loosened grip, compassion appears naturally, for yourself, for others. Seeing how much suffering came from trying to hold everything in place. It's the feeling of coming home to yourself, finally. Now, you can truly breathe. You're still here, in a quieter, more authentic way. Just present, like still water, clear, deep. This is what remains when you stop looking for yourself. You, without the noise. Chapter 4. Seeing Through the Dream. Living with Freedom. Freedom isn't escape from the world. It means seeing the world clearly. Understanding this life, with all its joy and suffering, is like a dream. Not fake, but always changing, uncontrollable. Like a dream, you feel everything. But waking up, you know you couldn't hold on to it. That's impermanence. A simple, liberating fact. Things come and things go. trying desperately to make them stay leads to suffering. It's waking up within the dream, recognizing its nature without having to leave it. There's a powerful moment in meditation or daily life when you realize you can simply let the world be as it is. No need to force outcomes, win arguments, be understood, have the perfect plan. Keep proving yourself. A soft peace arises. You still feel, care, show up, but without the heavy burden of fear. You've stopped asking the world to be what it cannot. Permanent, perfect. You stop struggling against the current and learn to float. Most suffering comes not from what happens, but how tightly we hold on to what happens, or how fiercely we resist it. We want praise to last, love to stay, pain to end. They don't listen. When we stop fighting reality, something surprising happens. We become inwardly free. We often feel more nuances, connection. But stop being trapped by feelings. Imagine walking through the world like a gentle breeze, touching everything, moving around obstacles, never stuck. Living deeply engaged, responsive, without clinging. This is where genuine ease is found. This isn't instant magic. It takes gentle, persistent practice. Buddhism offers simple tools. Sit and breathe. Watch thoughts without chasing. Speak kindly. Act with honesty. Treat others with care. These are the fundamental steps. Each simple act of mindfulness is like planting a tiny seed of peace in your heart. Even if outside stays same, your relationship to life changes. Noise shakes you less, fear grips less, sadness pulls less. You see clearly the transient nature of things. You don't fight the dream of changing reality. You simply don't believe it has power to control your inner peace unless you give it that power. It's like building an inner resilience, a quiet strength that isn't easily disturbed. This practice is for anyone. No robe, no mountain. Just attention, honesty. You will stumble, forget. That's normal. The point isn't perfection. It's the gentle act of returning, again and again. That is the practice. The more you return, the more natural it feels. Like remembering a beautiful song. Just stop striving and listen closely to the quiet melody within. Freedom isn't leaving life. It's living it fully, deeply, but with inner lightness. Loving completely, without chains. Caring deeply, without needing reward. Not cold detachment. It is warm. It is spacious. It is vibrant and alive. You are free in the world, not from it. What changes isn't the outer world, but how clearly you see it, how gently you walk through it, and the quiet strength you find within.